So music is one of this country's most important contributions to world culture. Blues, jazz, rock, country, soul, hip-hop. How has consolidation of the record industry fucked up the creation of art and the musicians who make it?
Well, the flashpoint for me was, as I told you, when Eddie Vedder and Phil Gossard and Jeff Ament went up against Ticketmaster. And I was in no condition to help them at that point. But I did see, and I am very good friends with R.E.M. People talk a lot about Kurt Flood. Do we all remember Kurt Flood? Raise your hands if you know who Kurt Flood is. Okay. Kurt Flood was the baseball player who completely martyred himself, destroyed his career, and was left completely alone. When I called Chuck about this, he said, "You will be alone. You will be lonely. You will have no army. You will be depressed. They will fuck with you." And it's true, but there's another case, and my Kurt Flood is Eddie. And I noticed that R.E.M., and I was a little bit the doghouse type on this one, but hey, you know what? Fact's a fact. And you two, and Mike D, and all the leaders, the big guys, they weren't present for that. Now, Eddie and Stone, they were right about Ticketmaster, owned by Paul Allen. They were right about Ticketmaster, okay? And you know what? None of us helped him. Now, I'm sitting there with a needle in my arm, and I'm not really prepared to do so, but I noticed the whole thing, and the leaders did not help him. And I saw those guys in front of Congress just being made fools of, and they were right. And they were right. U2 record comes out about a year and a half ago. Now, don't you leave out to tell a really good story here, buddy. This is one of those ones where I'm going to get in trouble. Paul McGinnis ain't going to be inviting me anywhere. Okay. So, the U2 record comes out. Jimmy does not put a dime in. I have watched for a year. I watched No Doubt sing. I watched them all. I watched the Wallflower. You said it sucked. I do not blame every record that fails on the company, by the way. Some records don't connect. Some records are just no good. All right, that's fact. All right, we know that. But the U2 record was good. And it cost a lot to market. And Jimmy said, or whoever said, Zach or Doug, or whoever said, too expensive, fuck them. Now, I talked to a certain somebody who used to be a Dublin gangster and got quite used to gracious living in the past 20 years. And having lived in Dublin a little myself and experiencing the poverty of Dublin, these are guys that come from Ballymoon, which is like, South Central. It's a hard place to live. And this certain person who's manager, went into the office and basically gotten a certain president into a headlock and said, "I'm going to make Courtney look like she's got a small mouth, okay? I'm going to the paper. You fuck over this band, you're fucked." I don't know what went on. Maybe someone was dipped out the window. I don't know what happened. But that day, something changed. Grammys last year, you saw money coming into U2, and U2 started getting money, and they started to sell records. Because it takes money to make money if you're a mid to high level career artist, or if you're a baby band. Period. End of story. That's it. We got the payola, we got all the other stuff to do. So if it weren't for this guy sticking up for his band, all the Can't Be Left Behind would have been a flop. And I was on a penthouse balcony the other night at the Grammy night. Came in about 3 a.m. I love Bono. He's more manipulative than me, but he's much better. He's very kind, very sweet. You all love him. Whereas I'm a little more prickly. He says to me, Courtney, when you walk in a room, you can tell, there's ill wind, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I'm like, so when you walk in a room, you know that everything's right, because he's telling you that's my luxury. And I'm like, well, you must always be on pot. But the point is, he said, "Oh, it was so hard, I'm so glad it's over." He got all the Grammys that night. And I said, "All right, and you got it all, and you made it, and you sold them all, and now it's time to step up." So now I go into the kitchen, and I'm standing on top of a stove, not a soapbox, a stove, with Mike Mills there, McGinnis, Bono, a couple other older peers, and I am like, Someone goes, senator or president, and I'm not going into politics. We're starting a union. You know, they will step up. I will not be martyred. I have talked to Springsteen. Elton John has offered to pay my legal fees. You know, Olivia de Havilland, when she won, went on to win Oscars. She went on to have the most fruitful time of her career. And nobody knows this. And look in your archives. Immediately after de Havilland won, actually, Clark Gable and Jimmy Stewart did their cases, but they were done so quickly that nobody noticed them. So I don't consider myself Kurt Flood. I consider Eddie Kurt Flood. And, you know, if we all remember that moment, you know that he was right and we were wrong. And we were wrong to not stand behind him. And that was something that stuck with me for many years. And then as this renegotiation started, and as he challenged me for being a renegotiator, and I started getting letters from people like the Chamber Brothers and Merle Haggard, 37 #1 hits on the country charts. The man never received a royalty. Okay? You know, all these people call 2020, 60 Minutes, Diane Sawyer. What do they want? They want me to go on TV. I'm not the sexy story. You know, you do a poll right now. You give me 5 of your favorite songs from each decade. I will show you 4 at the least destitute artists. And that, you know, that's the sexy story.